I had recently stopped at a coffee shop, and on my way out, a man decided to open the door for me. And as I was walking out, he said, "Let me do my one gentleman thing for the day." And I looked back and I said, "Oh, just one? Women love a gentleman." And he said, "You would think so, but it doesn't ever seem to work," implying that he is still single. So I looked at him and I told him, "Limit your gifts and you limit your abundance. Be a gentleman to all women." What he doesn't realize is by limiting himself, he's actually setting the energetic cap limit on how much he gets to receive. Today we're going to be talking about money and abundance, because who doesn't love money? And I know you want more of it. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that actually hate money. They hate spending it and they despise people for having it. Some people may even feel guilt for asking for money, for asking for help or abundance in general. Most people hate spending money or think they are just not worthy of it. That is simply because they are full of limiting beliefs, stopping them from feeling like they are worthy of God's abundance. The truth is, you are already worthy. There's just some inner work that needs to be done. So grab a drink, grab a journal, and get cozy, because I want to open your heart on such a heavy subject that weighs on a lot of people. What people actually don't realize is that money is spiritual. And business and spirituality go hand in hand. The cap limit for how much money you get to receive is decided by you. But first you have to give yourself energetic permission to receive it. A lot of us are holding on to core beliefs about money, depending on how we grew up as a child. If we grew up in a poor environment, we watched our loved ones, our parents, fight over money, or growing up with not enough money, living in scarcity, energetically puts a box over our heads. Reasons like this is why we hesitate to apply for certain jobs, why we feel unworthy to start our dream business. It is these core beliefs that actually determine your relationship with money. And now I want to ask you a question. What is money? Can you define it? Is it paper? Is it a medium of exchange? Numbers on a screen? Or is it a determination of one's self-worth? No. Money is energy. And energy is emotion. Energy in motion. So tell me, what emphasizes emotion? Value. Money is reflected upon how much value you can provide. But when you have these blocks in the way, going on in your mind, your thoughts, how you feel, blocks of living in lack, survival mode, and lack, whether that is lack of money, lack of self-confidence, or even a victim mindset. Things like low self-worth, imposter syndrome. When you have all of these blocks in the way, it is hard for you to be able to provide value. If you're in chronic stress with your job, your relationship, if you're a parent, living in lack of any kind is affecting your aura. And not allowing you to be able to provide value, which materializes into money. The state of being of this individual, their frequency, is at a very low vibration in this state. So what do I mean when I say that money is spiritual? I want to share with you guys a concept that I learned from Myron Golden. It's nothing new on my channel. Talked about this before, but it is perfect for today's concept. We're going to be talking about the 4 tiers of wealth / the 4 levels of value. The last time I shared this concept, it triggered a lot of people. And truth is, I want you to be triggered. I want to stretch your rubber band on your relationship with money. My goal is to break that glass ceiling. Majority of the world starts here. Implementation. And the resource used is your muscles. Majority of the population starts in this first tier of wealth, meaning they are making money with their time and their muscles physically. So careers that are within this implementation tier, any and every job that is minimum wage. So that could be fast food, customer service, retail. And on the high end of this tier, management, depending on the industry. The income of this tier is minimum wage to the high end, I would say about $80,000 a year. Majority of the population actually starts here. And this is what we are programmed to do fresh out of school. We're programmed to get into this first tier. The next tier is known as unification. And the resource used is management skills. Someone that is in this unification tier is obviously managers of any industry, directors, and on the high end, a manager or director for a company like a Fortune 500. The income level within this tier is about $40,000, and on the high end, $250K a year. I forgot to mention here in the implementation role, mechanics. And typically, the person that starts off in this implementation role ends up moving up to the unification tier at some point if they work up the ladder. The next tier is known as the communication tier. And the resource used is your mouth. Your words and how well you can impact with emotion. People in this tier YouTubers, podcasts, lawyers, actors, even sales or closers. The income in this tier is about 100K to $1 million a year. Sometimes one in the unification tier does move up to the communication level depending on the industry they're in, but it's not common. And the final, most highest spiritual tier imagination, the resource, your mind and creativity. This tier is all about using your mind and creativity to innovate, to creatively build or broker solutions, essentially creating wealth with your mind, your imagination. And the money from this tier is truly limitless. And those within this tier are entrepreneurs, investors, and I'd also say designers. So what makes this spiritual? As you move up the tier levels, you move from tangible physical effort to intangible influence, ideas, inspiration, vision, and faith. All things that are invisible, spiritual elements. Working up these tiers, you start from labor to leadership, to inspiration, and then true creation. But it is difficult for one to see and know that things like this is possible for them when they have all of these money blocks in the way. And let me make this clear. I'm not drawing this out in any way to make you feel shame or guilt about your career choice. My goal forever and always is to unlock your awareness so you can live up to the potential that I know you feel inside of you. Now let's move on. I'm trying to work on writing better for you guys because I realized in my last video I got a bigger whiteboard, but I was still writing too small. So let's talk about your relationship with money and address the average, typical limiting beliefs that I notice a lot of us have. These beliefs are causing you to behave in ways that is blocking money and its spiritual laws. If you're taking notes, now is the perfect time to be honest with yourself. That is what I want, because we're going to be getting into some inner work to help you heal your own relationship with money. Going back to the interaction I had with the gentleman at the coffee shop. Abundance does not fear giving, nor does it look outside of itself for abundance. That is a lack behavior. And since you now know that money is energy, energy in motion, money is constantly wanting to circulate. Hoarding money out of fear or giving money with resentment actually closes the channel to receiving and breaks the law of prosperity. People, including myself at one point, I used to suffer with this, have a fear of spending. And that is because often people believe that the amount of money they get to receive is limited. And this belief is unconscious, meaning it may or may not show up in your thoughts. but it will always show up in your behaviors. The man, rather than just holding the door open for me and smiling, he energetically opened his wounds through his statements, insisting that regardless of his doings, he is just not good enough. And he didn't just say it, his energy and his body language screamed it. Fear can also show up as anxiety paying bills or having to purchase something. It could even show in behavior such as not taking care of yourself, neglecting yourself, maybe choosing to buy something else because of its price rather than purchasing what you want that will make you happy, whether it be $10 or $500. And people will only spend money dependent on what they deem as valuable and whatever emotion stems from it. So for example, I'm someone that likes to invest in the quality of food. But for those of you that know me, know that I used to live in scarcity, living paycheck to paycheck. And at that time of my life, I had to get it how I lived. I couldn't afford to eat this way yet. I wanted to be able to purchase clean, organic foods. And it wasn't until I learned what money truly is and healed my own relationship with money through inner work that I was able to energetically open myself to money and open channels to receiving it. Working up that spiritual tier is what unlocks money because it requires inner work to be able to place yourself in a position to provide value. So I'm not telling you to start your healing journey with your relationship with money by going out and just buying things that you can't afford yet. That comes through inner work. Another reason why we fear spending money is because we think that money can only be received from one source. Your job is a channel. It is not a source. God is the source. And the more you work on your relationship with money, you will start to see channels begin to open up for you in ways you could not think be possible. Because it is through the inner work that you energetically give yourself permission to receive. Another thing that people do is hoard money. Hoarding money actually breaks the law of use. And not just money. Whatever talents, resources, or money you have must be put into use. It's not about spending recklessly. It's about understanding that money is a tool and circulating it with purpose and faith. Blocked behavior can look like sitting on money, or waiting for more money to come in order for you to make that final decision to spend it, to use it in any way. Ignoring your intuition. If you feel called to start a business, embrace your passions or put your ideas on the shelf per se. You are actually working against the spiritual tier, the highest tier, which is your imagination. You're limiting yourself by doing this and closing your channel to receive. Letting opportunities pass because you are afraid to risk what you have. All of this is broke behavior. And all of this is just putting a glass ceiling over your head, this energetic cap limit. This behavior actually blocks you from being able to see opportunities and work your creative muscles that can manifest into money. Because someone that is with that state of being, of lack, negative behavior, speaking about money in such a horrible way, this aura of this individual blocks them from being able to provide value, from being able to embody the energy of money. And what people don't realize is your beliefs will cause your mind to filter out everything that is happening around you to only see and confirm what it is you believe to be true. Here's an example. Let's say you have a history of heartbreak, abandonment issues, whether that be from your father, past relationships that cause you to step into new relationships very guarded. So if you're on a date with someone and a gentleman says something to you that seems like a pickup line and the woman responds saying, "Oh, how many girls did you use that on?" What she doesn't realize is that she's blocking herself from receiving. She's blocking her own abundance speaking this way. And it's truly unconscious behavior. But the point is, beliefs can cause you to look at the beauty of the world and only be able to spot the red flags. And that is not living. You are blocking your own blessings by behaving this way and just constantly manifesting more of the past. And another common limiting belief is thinking that money or opportunities that don't work out in your favor is a permanent loss. Feeling like rejection means you are not worthy. Feeling like you permanently missed out. Like you're doomed, you just weren't worthy of it clearly because it didn't work out for you, actually violates the law of substitution. When something leaves your life, an opportunity, money, a possession, or it didn't work out for you, it must and always will be replaced by something equal or better. It's like that saying, rejection is redirection. This is difficult for the mind to comprehend because when you have these beliefs not serving you, you actually end up behaving in ways such as, we'll move on to over here, fixating on the loss, constantly talking about it with any and everybody, mentally rehearsing it. People also end up doubting replacement, thinking that, "Oh, I just missed out, that money's gone forever." And they even are focused on resentment, which is binding the energy of lack and stalling yourself from actually manifesting the perfect substitution that is truly meant for you. So let me give you guys an example. When I moved out of my hometown and in the process of apartment hunting, I toured an apartment that I truly wanted to a T. It checked off every box on my list. And when I applied for this apartment, I found out I was too late. I didn't get it. And I was thinking to myself, oh man, like that sucks. I really wanted this apartment, but I had wholehearted faith in knowing that rejection is redirection. Something better is coming to me. So I had to calm down my judgments, calm down the mind's behavior. I had to quiet my mind and remind myself that there is something better for me that is on its way to me. Doing anything that I could to simply just relax and trust the process. And that's when a few days later, a listing came up. I was the first one to call, first one to tour, and it was the exact apartment building that I initially wanted to a T, but better. It was cheaper, exactly in the location I wanted, suited my needs way more better, because truly God is the supply and God knows what it is that you are asking for, what you desire. It is when you surrender and just let go and give the situation to God that you allow yourself to receive. And of course, I got the apartment. I want to leave you guys with some inner work to ponder, to help heal your own relationship with money. So let me erase the board. The questions that I'm going to give you can only be answered by you. There is no right or wrong answer. The purpose of inner work is to heal and call in that desired reality, call in that dream version of you that is living in abundance. So, the first one. If money was a person, how would I describe our relationship? This is something to really dig deep and journal about. Becoming aware of whatever your answer is allowing you to open the door. The next one. If money were my partner, how would I want to be treated? I want money to always be there for me. I want money to always come back to me times 10. I love money, and money loves me. Money has my back. It is always there for me in abundance. It is there when I need it to be. Just flow and let whatever pours out to come out. There is no right or wrong answer. And the very last question. In what ways am I treating myself the same ways I'd want money to treat me? These are 3 questions to help you identify your relationship with money. It is through inner work that you are able to provide more value for people, to show up in the way that opens the door to money and energetically work up the tiers of wealth. I hope your heart feels lighter on this heavy subject. Money is like a plant. It needs water and it needs room to grow. Okay, my loves, I will see you in the next video.